Pro NFL player, Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback, and OSU standout Dwayne Haskins, 24, dies after being hit by a dump truck while walking along a highway in Florida where he was participating in off-season training. Now, I'm going to put it in this way that when you first hear like a highway, you think, well, I mean, there's a lot of different types of highways. But what we're going to see in here kind of gives the sensation that this wasn't necessarily an accident and possibly, perhaps, something was making him very depressed to where he might have decided that this was the end for him. And the reason why I say that is because the location that this has happened is very suspect. So let's get right into it. So Pittsburgh Steelers quarterback and former Ohio State standout Dwayne Haskins was killed after being struck by a dump truck along a South Florida highway. So Haskins, 24, was hit by the truck on Interstate 595 in Fort Lauderdale early Saturday morning as he attempted to cross multiple lanes of westbound traffic, state troopers confirmed to dailymail.com. He was pronounced dead at the scene shortly after 6:30 a.m. Police said it remains unclear why the NFL player was walking along the highway. Okay. Traffic homicide investigators have launched a probe into the crash, noting that no further details will be provided at this time. And look, this is like the type of highway that there's like no reason why you would be walking. So Hoskins, who was set to turn 25 next month, was training with his team in South Florida when the fatal accident occurred early Saturday morning. His agent, Cedric Saunders, confirmed to ESPN's Adam Schefter. Steelers head coach Mike Tomlin confirmed reports of Haskins passing and issued his condolences to Haskins' loved ones. I am devastated and at a loss for words with the unfortunate passing of Dwayne Haskins, Tomlin said in a statement confirming his death. He quickly became part of our Steelers family upon his arrival in Pittsburgh and was one of our hardest workers, both on the field and in our community. Our thoughts and prayers are with his wife, Calabria, and his entire family during this difficult time. And look, right? This sort of thing, this sort of highway right here, no reason why someone would ever be walking on that highway. Ever. Not even to cross. Does not make sense. So, one could kind of assume that it could basically be a couple of things, right? One, potentially he was on some sort of drug that altered his mind to where it made sense for him to go do something like this. Two, perhaps he was extremely depressed or something super bad happened in his life where he thought that he no longer had a future and perhaps thought this is my way of taking control of my life again. And it's depressing no matter which way you kind of view it because it's the loss of a life. But this is also something that people can maybe learn from. It's like potentially, if you're ever feeling depressed, reach out to anyone, right? Reach out to anyone that you can and just like let them know how you're feeling, right? Even if it's just like not like them not necessarily responding to you in a way, but getting that off your chest could potentially make you feel a lot better. Let's see. So Haskins was drafted to the NFL by the Washington Commanders in 2019. as the 15th overall pick after he had a fantastic season with the Buckeyes. Although he was only started at Ohio State for one season, Haskins quickly became one of the best players in college football. During his lone season as a starter, he threw for 4,831 yards and 50 touchdown passes, and he had 54 career touchdowns. Haskins also set several conference records, earning him the Big Ten Offensive Player of the Year award, and he also finished third in the Heisman Trophy voting in 2018. Ohio State posted a photo of Haskins on its Twitter feed Saturday. It read, "Leader, legend, forever a Buckeye." Haskins struggled over his first 2 years in the league and was cut by Washington in December 2020. He threw 7 touchdowns and 7 interceptions during his rookie season, and in his second season, threw for 5 touchdowns before the team released him. In addition to losing his starting job, Haskins was also fined $40,000 in 2020 for violating the NFL's COVID 19 protocols after he was seen in public partying without a mask. And that's also one of the reasons why I say that potentially maybe he was on something because of the whole partying aspect, right? Because you never really know what someone might be using if they're a partier. So we are devastated to hear the news of the tragic passing of Dwayne Haskins Jr. He was a young man with a tremendous amount of potential who had an infectious personality. Commanders owners Dan and Tanya Snyder said in a statement Saturday. To say we are heartbroken is an understatement. Our hearts and prayers are with the members of Dwayne's family and all of those who knew him and loved him. It's honestly really sad to see. The Steelers gave Haskins a chance to resurrect his career in January 2021 when they signed him a month after being released by Washington. Seemingly humbled by the offer, Haskins stressed that he was eager to work hard and absorb as much as he could from the quarterbacks Ben Roethlisberger and Mason Rudolph. He made the roster as the third stringer, but only dressed once, serving as the backup in a tie with Detroit after Roethlisberger was placed into the COVID 19 protocol the night before the game. The world lost a great person today, Steelers star TJ Watt posted on Twitter. When Dwayne first walked into the locker room, I could tell he was an upbeat guy. He was always making people smile, never taking life for granted. Devastated, Rudolph said on social media. Tomlin and general manager Kevin Colbert had both praised Haskins for his improvement since joining the team, and the Steelers re-signed him to a one-year deal as a restricted free agent in March. We're excited to see what Dwayne can provide, either from competition or maybe he evolves as a starter, Colbert said in January. Haskins was also expected to compete with Rudolph and Mitch Trubisky for a starting spot in the wake of Roethlisberger's retirement. Reports indicate he had been working in South Florida this week with several teammates, including Trubisky and other skill position players, including runner back Najee Harris and tight end Pat Freiermuth. News of Haskins' death left many heartbroken, including fellow professional athletes, industry members, and former Buckeyes, as evidenced by the flood of social media tributes dedicated to the player. Heartbreaking, Rip Dwayne Haskins sending blessings and prayers to his family. Life is precious. We're always reminded. Chicago Cubs pitcher Marcus Stroman tweeted, "Incredibly sad to see young kid." Hey, got a husky with a Gatorade bottle wanting to play. Heartbreaking, Rip Dwayne. Okay, so this is difficult. As an Ohio State alum, I love what Dwayne Haskins did for the school, wrote ESPN NFL Nation reporter John Keim. As a reporter, getting to know him and talk to him many times and getting to know those close to him is really tough, and knowing the devastating impact on their lives. So young, so sad. Interesting. Let's see. Okay, yeah, let's look at the comments. Condolences, yeah. Was he not making the cut and depressed about it? Serious question. It looks like he took his own life. I honestly think that potentially that could have been it. I wonder if something was troubling him. Okay, let's see this one. Doing a little Googling, CCTV 5015, shown in photo above, is on the north side of I 595, east of I 95, between FLL Airport and Edgewood Passive Park. Pretty much no reason to be crossing the interstate in that location. It seemed odd to me too, and if you think that he could probably sprint across those lanes without getting hit under normal conditions, makes me more suspicious. Regardless, it is a tragedy for the victim, the family, and the truck driver. Rip. Sounds like it was intentional, especially with that post. And here's the thing, right? You got to think about it. This guy was a pretty good athlete, right? He could have easily sprinted across the lanes, not getting hit, because he could have done that in literally like a few seconds, right? This was early in the morning, which means that there should be very little traffic, and yet for some reason he got hit by a dump truck. You know, it's just sad, no matter which way you view it. If you want to learn how to get a debt, go to 40inbox.com.